Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only, and for those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law, and through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and also a short trading lesson at the end, so please stay tuned. Let's start by having a quick recap of the markets Thursday and Friday. These were two quite significant red days where many stocks were down significantly. In particular, we know ABML, that was down below $2, so a good opportunity there to buy in. Atos was also down quite significantly, so a good opportunity to buy onto ticker symbol ATOS. Still bullish about Atos going forward long term, so great opportunity there for people to jump into Atos. CTXR was down, mainly because of bad news with regard to the FDA. So it's in terms of people were expecting full approval, that didn't happen. There is a delay, and in terms of anybody looking to invest into CTXR right now, the new support seems to be around about $2, $2.10 around that time. So in terms of catching Atos, certainly if it dips below $2, that would be a good opportunity to catch Atos. On a positive note, there is some good developing news with OCGN. I'm going to follow this up with a bit more detailed video. But first of all, I'd just like to share a quick insight into what's happening with OCGN. OCGN is a stock that I've featured a few times on this channel. It's also a stock that I have taken a profit on a number of occasions. In the previous time I sold this stock once it reached a price in excess of $12. Right now I have reinvested again. My buy price now, if you look at the 1 year chart on the screen, right now the average, I just caught this around about $6.30-ish right now, so 34 I think my average price right now. So I have reinvested in this a while ago. There was some breaking news on OCGN, and I'm going to follow this up with, as I said, a detailed video, but let's just have a look at the quick update of the implication of this breaking news. Okay, so if we have a look at the screen here, just a quick update in terms of anybody monitoring this stock. In terms of OCGN, this is a stock that is involved in production of a vaccine for COVID-19. The company did not receive emergency use authorization, so the EUA was not approved a few weeks ago, and that did lead to a significant reduction in the stock price. And close of play on Friday, we can see that it was also down quite considerably. However, there have been some developments. Pre-market OCGN is up quite significantly, and this is a quick screenshot from the Barrett Biotech in terms of some of the plans, which I think look tremendous from my point of view. So what we're looking at here, highlighted for you there, is Barrett Biotech has established Covaxin manufacturing at 4 facilities within India, and a further expansion is in process to reach an annualized capacity of 1 billion doses by the end of 2021. Technology transfer activities are in progress to companies in the United States and other countries. So it looks like they're full steam ahead with plans to expand. Looks like they're full steam ahead with plans to start distribution in the US. We do know that they have been exported to other countries, including Brazil. So certainly this is good news going forward from an investor point of view. From a personal point of view, I am actually confident that FDA approval will happen. When that happens, we don't know, but if as soon as we get news of FDA approval, I'm very confident that this stock will hit a price in excess of $20. I'd like to now move on to today's main stock analysis, which is for Metamaterials, ticker symbol MMAT. I'm going to share with you some significant updates and also a potential good news rumor. I'm going to share with you evidence of that good news rumor and look at some of the things that I have uncovered. However, in terms of Friday close of play, it wasn't a good day. As you can see on the screen, the stock was down in excess of 7.66%, closing at $6.75. So as retail investors, we are getting hit quite hard on this stock. Many people have had very significant losses in this. For those of you who bought in certainly just before the merger, Going forward, the one lifeline that I think many investors are relying on is good news with regards to the dividend. and that's what I'd like to focus on today in terms of potential good news for this dividend. Before we get started by looking at the dividend news, I'd like to say a special thank you to everybody who joined the Patreon. Anybody who hasn't, please look at the link down below. And next thing I'd like to do is also give a quick shout out to Terry Juncker. My friend Terry also has a channel, so please visit his channel there, Terry Juncker on YouTube. He has some excellent videos with regard to Meta and MMAT. Okay, so let's now move on to what we were looking at in terms of the dividend. Many people are still asking the question, where are my dividends? Why have I not received them? First of all, the dividend, just to recap what has been stated on a number of occasions, is not paid. Nobody has received the dividend, so anybody who claims to have received the dividend is certainly giving incorrect information. Dividend is going to be subject to sale of assets. So the update from the company here in terms of Torchlight Energy tweets on 1st of July, in terms of the dividend update, DTC and attorneys getting preference ready to issue, working through some minor issues, and it should be on the way to all holders. So since Torchlight is now Metamaterials, all updates on ONG assets will be done via public relations on the MMAT ticker. So basically what that means is many of us have not seen proof of these preference shares, preferred shares in our accounts yet, whether it's through Trading 212, Webull or Robinhood. I know some other brokers have allegedly issued these dividends, which is interesting, but the vast majority have not received these dividend shares. But that's the update, so nothing to worry about. They are on the way. It looks like it's just a short delay. However, when you receive these dividends, it will be a zero value dividend, which will be paid at a later date. So let's now have a look at some interesting news with regard to how much we could possibly get. Before looking at some important information that I have uncovered, what I'd like to do now is share with you a slide from my video in February when I first released details about investing at that time in Torch. And one of the things I did in my initial video, first video in Torch, was highlight some of the key assets that the company has. And if you see on this initial slide from the investor relations page of the old Torchlight Energy, you can see here some of the key asset important investment highlights. So the one I'd like to draw your attention to is one at the top, which states Permian Pure Play. So I'll give you reasons why this is important shortly, but let's just have a look at this. So Torchlight's strategy is to execute within the Permean Basin to swiftly and confidently create shareholder value through the development of its assets. Keyword there, assets. The company has entered the Permean Basin at attractive valuations and is continuously seeking to expand its acreage position within the basin. So that's something that I'd like to focus on. Let's have a look at why. Okay, so if you have a look at this article that I'm sharing on the screen here, from Adrian Hedden. The headline here is Pioneer Natural Resources buys $6.4 billion worth of Permean Basin assets as market recovers. So, as you know, Torchlight, the previous Torchlight Energy, is looking to sell its assets, and if you have just seen in the previous slide that I've shared with you, they do have land in the Permean Basin. So we have a news article here which states that Pioneer Natural Resources has just bought $6.4 billion worth of assets in the Permean Basin. Now, whether or not this has got anything to do with buying from Torch, that is not confirmed. So that's not what I'm stating. What I am kind of giving an indication of here is certainly this land is valuable, this land is high value. So if this is anything to go by, then certainly it could be good news for dividends in terms of getting good return on the value of the assets from sale of this land in the Permean Basin. What I also did is just cross-reference that article confirmation from another website, and this is a confirmation of the sale here, and this is from currentargus.com, just to say that Natural Resources bought Fort Worth, Texas-based Double Point Energy in about $6.4 billion deal that signaled the continuation of the shift towards consolidation. So this sale of assets is in the same area with regards to Torch. So potentially good news for a future dividend. One of the questions that we'd like to look at is, why is the share price going down? What's going on? And in terms of many people who invested pre-merger, many will have incurred significant losses. So one of the key reasons for that is a huge attack by the shorts on MMAT. So there's a tweet here from iHorse3 I'd like to share with you, and he stated confirmation of this to show that there's a huge short interest in MMAT, and the figure he's shared here is $87 million. He's also said that 11.59 million shares have been shorted. So bad news overall. However, in the previous video, one thing that I did say, that is the market cap was not correct at the time. I believe that now will be adjusted and has been adjusted. So going forward on Tuesday, I hope the markets and the systems take account of that, and we see a little bit of consolidation upwards. What I'd now like to do to finish off is just give a reminder of some positive news. So first of all, if I go back to my initial video in February 2021, one of the things I shared with you was one of the key reasons why I initially invested in the previous TRCH ticker symbol. And if you look at the screen here, one of the key aspects at that time that happened was the company was debt free. So all debts were consolidated into shares. So first of all, that was a good sign. So that was one of the key reasons that I invested in. And there was also this headline on the investor presentation slide here that they stated that they have ownership of the largest domestic onshore new field discovery in over 30 years. So the company was very, very strong in terms of assets. These assets are now going to be sold. As investors, as shareholders who are entitled to these preference shares and entitled to these dividends, these assets belong to us. These assets will be divided up and into the dividends. So I am expecting good news from the company. I certainly hope the sale of the assets is true to value. The company is debt free, so the company has strong assets. In terms of valuation or sale, that's what is going to happen. The other thing I think is going to be taken into consideration is how many shares are entitled to the dividend. So that's a question that we do not know, because the exact number of people who sold on the non-qualifying dates is also got to be taken into account. It's now time for lesson of the day. We're up to lesson 76, and today is a little bit of a reassurance for people who are currently struggling in terms of their investments, looking at the shares go down significantly in value. One of the things that I think everybody needs to think about is more focus on the long term, especially if you are a long-term holder of stocks. So what's the outlook, what's the prognosis when you hold stocks for the long term? So generally, according to statistics, if you have a look at the screen here that I'm sharing with you, let's say for example, if you invest in 7 stocks for the long term and place them within a 7 portfolio position, for whatever reason, the following generally tends to happen in the stock market. So as you investors in the stock market will know, the returns in the stock market have certainly always outperformed returns in a savings account. Okay, so generally what happens if you have 7 stocks is 2 stocks will completely go belly up or damn near it. 3 stocks will become mediocre performance. 2 stocks could shoot to the moon and gain you more money than you ever imagined. So basically what we're saying is 4 out of the 7 stocks are going to be good news. 2 will be very good news. 2 will be certainly, and 3 the 2 others will be relatively good news, and the 3 will be probably bad news. So it's overall it's a good option for a long-term investment. Key thing to do in the market, as it says at the bottom, should always try to avoid buying at full price. So that's a lesson to learn. Always look for the dip, always look for a pullback, especially what we are seeing right now, certainly with regard to some of the stocks that we've seen take a hit on the Friday. Okay, thank you very much for joining me. Please stay tuned.